I did it. I completed the MK half marathon on Monday, and I'm still feeling the effects at the moment. Getting up and downstairs and just getting up from the chairs is quite a mission at the moment. So I'm just in recovery mode, and hopefully that will ease in the next few days. So Monday morning, I woke up early, did all my preparations, and headed to Milton Keynes with the family. It was a really early start. We left here at around 7:30 in the morning, and the race was at 9. And got there, did a bit of a warm-up, and then proceeded to wait in my designated area until the race started. And you could feel the buzz. The atmosphere was electric. There were so many people. The half and the marathon all started at the same time, so it was really busy. And yeah, the atmosphere was electric, and we did have to wait a while. And I think we finally started at around 9:15. And yeah, just that buzz when we started and everyone started moving. And I did have an idea of kind of the pacing that I wanted to achieve. And the first kilometer or so was probably slightly faster than I was expecting, but that's just because there were so many people around. So it made it a bit more difficult. But as we ventured out and started running on the dual carriageways, etc., because a lot of it was all closed down, we could spread, and I was able to run the pace that I thought I wanted to run. But who knew that Milton Keynes was not flat? There were some steep hills within the first 5K. There was kind of a lot of up and downs, and that wasn't just going through any underpasses. At this stage, it was all on the main roads and through some of the office block areas and things like that. So yeah, that kind of took me a little bit by surprise, and I was hoping it wasn't going to affect me too much, but I think later in the race it probably did. But yeah, that was fine. And then the middle of the race, it was really flat until the end, where there were a couple of more steeper areas, and on a few of them I literally did have to walk. I just didn't have it in the legs to try and run up it, and I probably actually walked faster up those areas anyway. But what was great is that I had family along the route. Now, I knew that some family were going to see me around the 7-mile mark. And before that, my wife and 2 kids actually surprised me earlier on. And that really did give me a boost. When you're running, and because I was running alone, I didn't have anyone I knew running around with me. I just had my music in my ears and just carried on like that. So seeing them in kind of a surprise location was really uplifting and just helped me get through that area. And then as I was nearing the area where I knew my parents and my sister and her family were waiting for me, just making sure that I didn't miss them. And then when you finally see them, that is absolutely great. It does give you that extra buzz. And when I looked down at my watch, it really did give me a buzz, because I was probably running about 30 seconds faster than what I was running previously. And again, they then surprised me on, I think it was mile 11 as well. So again, that was great. And they said that people standing next to them also started shouting my name. All of that and the noise and all that was great. The crowds were great because you got your name on your bib as well. Some of them were calling out your name as you ran past. And yeah, when you hear that and people just giving out sweets and that to all the runners to help them along, it was such great atmosphere and great support. And then towards the end of the race, you actually run back towards the stadium and looking, saying, wow, it's still got a little bit more to go. And you then run into the stadium. And then again, my wife and 2 kids were waiting for me there. And that, again, the atmosphere within the stadium was great. As you do not a full lap of the pitch, probably about 2/3, I would say. 2/3, 3/4 around there, and across the line they've got you on the big screens crossing the line, and just the noise as you're crossing was just amazing. Overall, I was just happy that it had finished, to be honest. When I started on this journey, I thought, yeah, I want to do it sub 2 hours. But then when I started getting into the training of that, I soon realized that my fitness I wasn't ready for that kind of time yet. So I was looking hopefully between 210, 220, probably more closer to the 220 mark. In the end, I did it in 226.57, and I'm still over the moon with that time. If you've followed my kind of running journey, you would know that I only started running mid-May last year. I actually had a look to see exactly if I could work out the dates. And I think I started my Couch to 5K program on the 18th of May last year. And that was an 8-week program. So I think I finished that, I think it was the Thursday before my birthday. So last year, again, if you've been following my whole journey, last year I gave myself a challenge to lose 40 pounds by the time I turned 40. So I started that mid to end of January last year, and my birthday is on the 14th of July. So that was my challenge for the whole of last year. And I managed to actually hit that target mid-May. So I'd lost that 40 pounds in mid-May. And I wanted to give myself another challenge because I had lost 50 pounds in 2020. And for other reasons, I slowly put the weight back on again over the years. But this time I wanted to be different. I'd learned a lot from that experience. So I wanted to give myself another goal. And I'd been doing a lot of walking, and I was walking quite quickly, and I just couldn't walk any quicker without breaking into a light jog. So I decided to give the Couch to 5K program a go. And the program that I was on was an 8-week program. So I completed that the Thursday before my birthday. So 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, 11th of July is when I finished that. And I gave myself a target to run my first park run a week later. So it was on the 20th of July. So that's when I actually did my first 5K race, or probably first 5K, to be honest with you. And I had support along the way, and I will document that in another video. So overall, I haven't actually been running for that long. Basically, from July is when I started doing running more regularly. And I've done, so far, I think I've done around 11 park runs. I've done a 5K race. I've done 2 10K races. But at the end of last year, I met someone that I had worked with many years ago, and he had been following my journey and said that he had done the MK half previously and just told me about the support. So it intrigued me, and then I worked it out, and I had 16 weeks, basically 14 weeks of the hard training, 1 week of taper, and then the race. So in total, it was 16 weeks to the race. So I took that on as this year's challenge to run the half marathon. Training went fairly well, but as I said, I haven't been running for very long. So getting that time, I'm over the moon with. Yes, I would have loved to have got below 220, but being that it was my first half marathon, and those hills, I was prepared for hills, but not as many as those. And I've never run that distance before. 18 kilometers was the furthest I've run in training. And even then, I had to stop a few times. So I'm over the moon with that time. And sometimes I just got to remind myself, even now, I haven't even been running a year yet. So my progression has been quite quick, and I've given myself a lot of challenges. And there are definitely more, in the near future as well that I'll be training for. And I will be keeping you updated on those. Please keep an eye out for those posts or those videos as well. So yeah, overall, really happy with that half marathon time. And yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a half marathon anytime soon. Maybe again next year. I'll just have to see how this year goes and how the fitness goes, because I definitely want to make sure that I increase that base fitness so that I can push myself in these longer races and keep that pace for longer. Yeah, happy with this. It's probably going to be my most treasured one for the moment. I think it's the longest race that I've done. Really happy with that. And I'll keep you updated on how things progress in the future.